So why is marketing effective anyway? We are all rational beings making decisions based on reason. We only buy stuff we need at a reasonable price. Marketing is just there to inform us, after which we make our educated choice, right? Sure, Santa and the Easter Bunny couldn't agree more. Remember René Descartes with his cogito ergo sum, I think thus I am. Well, I'm sorry for the Cartesianists among you, but Descartes was dead wrong. It was neurologist Antonio Damasio who first spoke about Descartes' error. Yes, we are able of rational thought, but before that, we're emotional beings, social beings, contextual beings. Short background story. Neuromarketing was born in the beginning of the century. It first received quite some attention with an experience by Red Montague from the Baylor College of Medicine in Houston, USA. Participants of the study went under an MRI scan while sipping Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola. The scan showed which of both was most enjoyable to the brain. After that, out of the scan, they asked the participants to sip again, whilst knowing which brand they were consuming. The results were quite controversial, because under the MRI scan, participants showed a clear preference for the Pepsi taste, whilst when they were shown the brands, they were saying they'd prefer Coca-Cola. In other words, the emotions linked to the brand were strong enough to overrule the taste of the product. Ta-da! Let me try to explain to you in the best way I can what's going on in our head, how we make decisions and why marketing is able to influence that. So welcome to the human mind. First of all, let me apologize for using an iceberg as an analogy. It has been overused. It's a total cliché and frankly not even as accurate as I wish it would be. Unfortunately, it's the best I have, and it's one most people will understand, so indulge me. We were saying an iceberg, yes. The iceberg stands for who we are, or more exactly, for how we make decisions in life. The top of the iceberg, the part we all can see, is like that little voice in our head. Now don't pretend you don't have one, we all do. Still don't see what I mean? Okay. Count to 10 in your head. Do that now. Okay, you heard yourself counting, right? That voice, that's the one I mean. That little voice is our conscious self, the one with self-awareness. Because of it, we firmly believe we are our own boss. We are the one in charge, taking decisions alone, maturely, rationally. Okay, back to the iceberg. If the iceberg is floating, it's not because of the part above the water, but of what is beneath the surface. In exactly the same way, our decisions are not the result of our conscious self, of that little voice, but of what's beneath the surface, our subconsciousness. Our subconsciousness is constantly presenting options to our conscious self, who takes decisions based on what is presented. Whilst doing this, it creates the illusion of free will. But the truth is, it's not even aware why these options were presented in the first place. You see, in our subconsciousness, there are three forces at hand. Well, no, actually there are all kinds of forces at hand, but we can regroup these into three categories. Without going into detail for now, these three forces are our genetic programming, our education and life experiences, and last but not least, our immediate surroundings or context. Marketing is active here, in the third category. Well, not exclusively, because these three forces are intimately interwoven with each other. They combine, mingle, and continuously assign value to things, people, and situations. Marketing can color these evaluations. When successful, marketing can influence the perceived value, importance, or desirability of a product or service. And once our conscious self comes into play, we just go with the options presented to us by our subconsciousness, hardly realizing these were influenced by the marketing messages we've been subject to through the various media and the display of the shop itself. So what does it mean? Are we just sheep amongst wolves, defenseless in the face of an ever-growing, overwhelming amount of marketing messages thrown at us from all angles? Or can we resist? Is there a way to override all these influences and keep control, remain rational when faced with a choice? Well, there is. You see, that little voice in our head, our conscious self, has an amazing superpower. when it comes to decision making, and that is the power to override any suggestion that comes from the subconscious self. However, in order to override it, we first need to become conscious of it. We first need to understand why we are attracted to something, why we suddenly give more value to something, or blindly follow something said. And that is exactly what this course is about. We will dive deep into the 3 forces mentioned before and analyze them one by one. Once you understand these forces, I will give you simple techniques to help you override your sudden urge to buy things and make more rational decisions, giving you back your decision-making power, freeing yourself from manipulative and deceitful techniques thrown at you to open your wallet and make you buy stuff you don't need or even want in the first place. To buy or not to buy? That is the question.